Today, we are flying Singapore Airlines on their regional business class seat. Most airlines don't even offer lie-flat seats on their regional aircraft. But how will this seat fare on one of SQ's longest so-called regional routes? With a flight time of nearly 7 hours from Adelaide to the Lion City, let's check out what it's like flying Singapore Airlines Business Class in 2025. Good morning from Adelaide. Now that's the airport behind me. Exciting few flights coming up. First one is the Singapore Airlines 787. Now we have flown on this one before on a short haul from Bangkok to Singapore. This is going to be our first time flying it on a sort of medium haul route. It's going to be 6 hours. So looking forward to it. Join us. Walking into the integrated terminal at Adelaide, we are faced with the question, wait, where's Singapore Airlines?
Malaysia is next to Virgin Australia and Singapore is next to Qantas, which is like the opposite of.
Singapore Airlines typically operates one flight per day to Adelaide. I say typically because during peak times there's an extra service on some days.
I've already got the boarding pass, I just need to drop the bags off. Okay, sounds good. That's pretty cool.
Bags all dropped off and checked in, we headed to one of two security screens for this flight. Because of the nature of Adelaide's terminal, with both domestic and international operations in the same building, the first check is for both types of travelers. There is an additional second security check later for international flights. This left me with a burning question, and there's only one way to find out. You see, Virgin Australia is a partner of Singapore Airlines, and my question was regards to Virgin Australia domestic lounge access prior to this flight. I'm flying on Singapore Airlines. Do I still have access to this lounge while flying?
What is your status now?
Gold?
Yeah.
Okay.
Only got our golden platinum.
And it's the same with Qatar as well, if we fly on Qatar Airways?
Yes, correct.
Oh, okay. Great. I learned something today. Thank you. The Virgin Lounge at Adelaide is probably their best lounge and is perhaps something to keep in mind as the default international lounge in Adelaide can be a bit crowded. That default lounge, located after the second round of security screening, is the Plaza Premium. Being the sole lounge in the international section of the airport, it caters to business class passengers of all flights as well as priority pass and other lounge members. As you can see here, it can get quite crowded due to several flights departing around this time. But not too bad for grabbing a quick bite before the flight. We didn't spend too much time at this lounge as our flight was soon called for boarding. So we headed back up the stairs, past the duty-free section, to catch our glimpse of the aircraft for today. It was nice to see a busy Adelaide International Airport, with 3 wide bodies parked up at the same time. Quite a good lineup. Boarding began not long after and was done in groups. Back on Singapore Airlines after almost 2 years. Singapore Airlines uses their 787-10 aircraft on their flights to Adelaide. They have 26 of these Boeing wide-bodies in their fleet currently, with 5 more arriving soon. SQ calls this their medium-haul aircraft, and the seating consists of 337 seats. 36 of these are in business class and are in a staggered 1-to-1 layout.
Morning. Welcome aboard. Thank you. Take a left hand, please. Morning.
Fun fact, today's aircraft was only 6 months old when we took this trip and was the newest plane that we flew in 2024. As such, it probably still had that new plane smell and felt very clean. It also felt very festive with the Christmas decorations on board. The seat is a bit narrower than their long-haul flights, but looks very pretty when combined with the soft inner shell and the pillows provided. There is limited storage options in the seat as this is a regional aircraft, but plenty up above. A refreshing hot towel was provided and a pre-departure drink was served to kickstart this journey. It was time to say goodbye to Adelaide Airport and the stunning livery of Malaysia Airlines A330 as we taxied out. It was another goosebump moment as SQ's nostalgic safety video began to roll.
And together with the rest of the cabin crew, I'd like to welcome you on board SQ278, Singapore Airlines service from Adelaide to Singapore. Flight time this morning is 6 hours and 10 minutes. We suggest that you keep your seatbelt securely fastened whenever you are seated for your seat. Meantime, sit back, relax, enjoy the ride.
It was such a beautiful takeoff from Adelaide that day, with the 787's raked wingtips and Trent 1000 engines offering an AvGeek's perfect backdrop over the sea. The exact flight time was just over 6 hours, with 2 meal services being provided. So I glimpsed over the menu for the options. But first, you might be wondering why I didn't talk about the amenity kit. Well, SQ has a different approach to amenity kits over other airlines and don't proactively offer it to reduce environmental waste. You can, however, request for one on flights over 6 hours, which of course we did, being fans of their Penhaligon's offering. Here's a quick look at what's inside. Additional amenities like toothbrushes can be found in the toilets, which were themselves loaded with more Penhaligon's products. The toilets were unsurprisingly clean and spacious with a full-size mirror. Within a few days of us taking this flight, SQ changed to a different amenity kit supplier. And so this part of this video is unfortunately already outdated. Back at the seat, the lunch service began with a serving of warm nuts to accompany the drink. Then the tray table was set up rather nicely in white tablecloth. Cut to the menu, which has 4 options for the mains. And here comes our biggest tip if you're flying Singapore Airlines in first class, business class or premium economy. SQ offers its famous Book the Cook service, which is an extensive selection of world-class dishes that can be pre-ordered. We remember going through and selecting the lamb stir-fry, but I think I forgot to save it. While I still went for the lamb main, it was a bit underwhelming when compared to the Book to Cook options, and I wished I paid more attention while pre-selecting. Prior to mains, the entree of smoked salmon was served separately. And for the breads, I got my favorite, the garlic bread. The meal service ended with what was probably the highlight, the chocolate tart. Very rich and full of chocolatey goodness that got me dancing along for the rest of this flight. To burn off all my newfound energy, I took a look at the entertainment screen, which is an absolute delight to use. Being one of the latest aircraft, it was tech-savvy too, with a responsive touchscreen and a wide array of content including live TV options. There's also the ability to connect your personal device, although I couldn't quite figure out how to do this one. SQ also provides high-quality noise-cancelling headphones with earpiece covers for hygiene. On the connectivity front, SQ offers free unlimited Wi-Fi to all KrisFlyer members in each cabin class, including economy. It is also complimentary to non-members in business class, and I took full advantage of this. I eventually ran out of my sugar bus and I decided to catch some rest. This is what the seat looks like when it's fully reclined into a bed. Despite the narrow bed compared to the other aircraft, I managed to catch a good 3 hours of sleep. Only waking up to the sound of
Beef or chicken?
Actually, not quite, as the 2 options offered was pork or salmon in this case. I picked the healthier of the 2, going for the salmon salad, which stayed true to its name as a refreshment. I took a further look at the menu and was amazed by SQ's choice of tea and coffee on board. The list is so extensive, and the Silver Moon tea from TWG became an instant favorite for me. And just like that, it was time to get ready for landing.
Approach in just a few minutes time. Weather in Singapore a little bit wet, with a ground temperature of 20, not quite a breezy day. The wind is coming in from the north, and I hope to see all of you again really soon on one of my flights in the near future. Once again, thank you for choosing Singapore Airlines.
It was great to be back on Singapore Airlines again after 2 years. I feel a bit strange saying this, but I miss flying SQ for some reason, whether it's the warm onboard service, or the pretty seats, or the in-flight boarding music. Side note, I actually think they have the best boarding and landing music. The 6 hours on the 787 went so fast, and the seat was perfectly fine even for this longer regional route. The modernness of the aircraft was fully on display, whether it was the lightning fast touchscreen or the in-flight Wi-Fi. While I was a bit disappointed with the lunch meal, it was more my fault rather than the airlines. I'll likely conclude that Singapore Airlines still reigns supreme as the best way to travel between Australia and Southeast Asia. But let me know what you guys think in the comments.
Welcome to Singapore. It's been our pleasure serving you on this flight. Thank you for flying Singapore Airlines and Adelaide Airport.
But yeah, here we are in Singapore. I can already feel the humidity just hit me as soon as I...
As soon as you step out of the crowd.
Yeah. There are multiple ways to book Singapore Airlines flights with points. The most obvious is through the KrisFlyer program, which has the best availability, but would have set us back 68,000 KrisFlyer miles. We use Virgin Australia's Velocity program and paid 57,000 points at the time of booking. Unfortunately, Velocity just devalued their rewards charge, and the same will now cost 74,000 points going forward. Considering how hard it is to earn KrisFlyer miles in Australia and the conversion rate of 1.55 to 1 between KrisFlyer and Velocity, it would still be a better option to book this particular route using Velocity points. Thank you so much for watching this video, and Happy New Year to you all.